Hey everybody, we're back here at the Propelio Academy. I'm going to go through and discuss how to source some of the lists we've talked about in the previous classes. Excuse me. We've talked about appointments to substitute trustee, notice of trustee sales, and kind of how those things work. So now that we've discussed them, how about I show you how to get to them? So here in Dallas County is where I've been an investor for close to 10 years now. I know how Dallas County works. The information I'm going to share with you today is going to be applicable no matter where you're at. How you gain access to the information may change, but the information that you're trying to get is not going to change. So although what I'm going to show you may not be directly applicable to, BFE Montana or something like that, it's going to work here in most all of the places. And if it doesn't work online, you're going to have to actually go to the courts to pull these records. Believe it or not, that is your best case scenario. Like if you have no access to these files whatsoever online, you are going to be in a tremendous bonus, because the harder it is to get this information, the fewer people that are actually going to do it. So if you find out that your county recorder does not provide any of this information online, instead of being discouraged, you should truly be happy, because you are going to be the motivated person that's actually going out there and doing the heavy lifting and getting access to these lists. So if you're not finding them online like I'm showing you here right now, you should actually be encouraged versus discouraged, because if you take the effort to go to your public records and source this information, you're going to win. There's just like, your competition is going to be almost none because you're the ones doing it. So let's go ahead and dig in here. I'm going to show you the computer real quick. Excuse me. So I'm showing you right now, this is what we call Rome. If you see up here in this top right hand corner, or excuse me, top left hand corner, it says ROAM, that's Rome. Rome is a data aggregator. They work with a lot of county records to gather that information and make it available online. So this is what we're gaining access to here. You may have a system similar to this in your city, county, across the United States. If not, you should have some similar version of this. And overall, you're just trying to gain access to those appointments to substitute trustee lists and notice of trustee sales that I referred to, and Liz pendens. I keep referring back to the trust states, the deed of trust states. We are looking at everything across the United States. So outside of those, you may also be looking for Liz pendens, but let me go ahead and log in right here. One of the cool things about this site that, I'm not directly going to dig in deep on today is the simple fact that there is access to far more information here than just those two lists. This is public record, so if you are looking to generate lists, this is a place you can go to generate some lists potentially for free. Okay, so I have no I didn't prepare for this whatsoever. I used to use Rome a lot. I trained my virtual assistants on how to do this. I would recommend that you as well work with virtual assistants to do this. For me, it would cost me a virtual assistant for a single county, let me think here, probably around $15 a day or so to get a virtual assistant to do a single county for me. And if you think about $15 versus your time, when you're first getting started out, you may not have that 15 bucks a day, but as you scale and grow your business, you definitely need to outsource this low dollar activity work to somebody else. Virtual assistants in the Philippines, if you're not familiar with how to utilize those, I have a whole nother training just on virtual assistants that you definitely need to be watching. But this is virtual assistant work, but for you to hire a virtual assistant to do it for you, you need to know how to do it yourself. So I haven't personally pulled Rome in probably close to 5 or 6 years. My virtual assistants do all this. So you get to watch me do this live and figure this out. So all right, what am I going to do here? Maybe I can do an advanced search. Let me see what this looks like. So we have instruments. So if I'm going in and I'm trying to figure out how to do this at first, I'm not seeing a whole lot of options here. But maybe I can come through and do something like this. So I'm going to show you what my process would be for trying to figure this out. If I'm just doing a simple name search and I throw in a name that is as common as Smith, you're going to find a lot of records. So I'm just going to go ahead and click search. All right, so here in Rome, there is a lot of Smiths. We've got releases of liens, deeds of trust, extensions, power of attorneys, tax liens. Remember earlier I said that when you're accessing public records, you're going to find other motivators that will benefit you as well. Well, tax liens are good to know, power of attorneys. We've got all these coming in here, but remember today we're specifically looking for the AST and the NOD. So looking for those Let's see if we can come over here. We've got assumed names, brands, child support. If we got child support liens coming out, that might be something you could look through. Divorces, military discharge, bonds, public records, UCC, party roll, grantor, record date. Let's see here. Legal sequence, party sequence. Not finding anything right there that is specific to what I'm looking for, but maybe I can just click on official public records. If I click on this and I click filter, let's see if something different comes up. Okay, perfect. All right, so now we've got over here, we've got abstracts of judgment. Those are good to know. For those that do not know what an abstract of judgment is, that is if, let's say, somebody's behind on a bill and that person that is owed money goes to the courts. And when they go to the courts, here I am getting off topic, but you're going to get a little bit of benefit out of that. So if let's say I do some contract work for somebody's house, that'd be a mechanic's lien. It doesn't matter. Either way around, you owe me money, I want my money, I go to the court. And I say, court, this dude owes me money, I want it. And the judge says, you know what, you're owed the money, here you go, here's your judgment. All right, so now that I've been awarded a judgment, that doesn't necessarily mean that I get paid. That just means that the judge agrees that I am owed money and I'm going to receive a judgment. So one of the ways for me to get myself paid is I take that judgment and record it in public record against this homeowner, and I could potentially file it against their house or whatever, and that says that I've been awarded a judgment and Mr. or Mrs. Smith owes me money, and that is public record. That is another list type that you might be able to source out of this, and I'm not going to go through and show you what each and every one of these are, but if you look through this, there are a lot of list types that you might be able to go through and find. What is the one that I want, though? Remember we were talking earlier about appointments of substitute trustee? Boom. So there's one right there. I found that one. And the other one I was looking for was a notice of, what was that? Notice of trustee sale, sometimes called notice of default. Your state may change how they name this. Network, figure it out. Just go through, grind it out. You're not going to know it up front. I didn't know it up front either. You're going to have to dig in. But once you dig in, you start figuring this stuff out. You're going to find a lot of stuff in here that you're going to like. Just going through here, I can see bankruptcy filings. I can see all kinds of stuff. So I'm just going to keep scrolling. We've got deeds, deeds of trust, assignments of deeds. Let's keep going through. I am looking for a notice. Okay, so we've got a notice here, but that might not be the one I'm looking for. Which one am I looking for? I'm going to try and find it. Remember earlier we were talking about Liz Pendens. There's Liz Pendens right there. I've got Liz Pendens. I want, though, and I'm not necessarily seeing it here. Oh, see this one over here? So we talked about appointments of substitute trustee. You know what that is from our previous videos, but to reiterate that, it's essentially where a lawyer comes in and assigns himself as the trustee on a deed of trust being the security instrument, and we've already discussed what the security instruments are, legal versus non-legal. I have already located an appointment of substitute trustee, but if I look over here, I also see another one that says removal of trustee and appointment of substitute trustee. Might that be the exact same list? Yes, it is. What I have found from my personal research in figuring this out, that different counties, different attorneys, different people call documents different things, but the documents essentially create the same end result. So here, we've already found one, now we have found another, and then we've got another one down here that says removal of trustee D/T. What does that D/T stand for? What I'm going to be willing to hypothesize is it stands for deed of trust. So this is yet again another way. There's only two of those filings, but if I'm pulling all of these and this one happens to pop up, and there's only two of them, but I'm the only one marketing to them, that might be an opportunity for me to really score a good lead. I'm really trying to find the notice of trustee sale though, but we got state tax liens, we've got all kinds of stuff here. But let me get through this and find the notice of trustee sale. Quit claim is another one in here you might want to look at. Tax liens, let me see if I can find the notice. It says notice here, but I'm not sure if that one is the correct one. Either way around, I don't have to show you each and every single one of these. My goal here though is to open your mind up to how to gain access to it and think outside of the box on doing it. Got federal tax liens, extensions, dissolutions, disclaimers, designation, deeds of trust, deeds, dedication of street, declarations. I'm just going through and I'm scanning through this item here on the line. So For those that are doing probate, boom, there's another one right there, certified copy of probate. There's another one, copies of judgments, applications. Let's just keep through. And I am not directly seeing the notice of trustee sale on here. So I'm going to show you another way to find that. Okay, but I've filtered down to just those two. And I'm going to go ahead and click filter now. Y'all are probably tired of me running my mouth. I've been up here just running my mouth. But let me get back down here. I'm going to click filter, and I'm going to see what happens to these results. All right, so here's an appointment of substitute trustee right here for Charles E. Jr. Smith. So what I did to get to this is I just came through and I searched for a just common name. And that common name is going to allow me to find records. That record being, what are the document types? So what I might be able to do moving forward into the future is come through and just say, I want items recorded from this date, which is the last time I pulled, to this date. And I'm looking for instrument types. You know, I can come in here and say AST, APPT, AST, something like that. All I'm trying to do is narrow my search down to the types of lists that I'm looking for. I cannot go through and teach you every single last step of this. At some point in time as entrepreneurs, you need to learn how to get out there, explore, and build upon your own ideas. I'm hitting you with the theory. You're going to need to figure out the application yourself. I can't give all of that to you because it's impossible. You live all over the place across the United States. Figure it out. I'm giving you the strong core curriculum to get there. But let me go ahead and open up this document and see what it looks like here. I'm going to click on it. This is an appointment of substitute trustee. All right, I come in here. I can see who the parties to this are. We've got a trust in here. We've got a couple of different people's names. But over here, I got the ability to view an image preview. If I click on this, boom. Release an indemnity of personal trustee. Trust dated June, appointment, trust, okay. Scrolling through, so North Park National Bank. Trust was created under the will of W. Oh, wow, so this is an intriguing one. This isn't a traditional, just what I would assume to be an appointment of substitute trustee. This one's getting a little interesting, but so we've got a successor co-trustee involved. This would be something I'd market to, but this isn't something that I'm trying to teach y'all on today. This is a little bit different, and the reason I'm saying that is it really looks like, and I may or may not be right or wrong, what may be going on here, and I'm just throwing hypothesis out there, is what I'm reading, just because I can see over here that this property was in a trust. From what I can tell, I've got a bank involved. I have what appears to be the decedent of a will, because I'm talking about right here, it says, a trust was created under the will of W.M. Lingo, dated 1942. My assumption here is this guy has passed away. It is going towards foreclosure or something along those lines, and they are trying to get some things cleaned up. This isn't a good one for me to try and teach you on, though. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to see if I can find another one. We've got Liz Pendens. For those that are looking at Liz Pendens, I can just click on one of these real quick. I personally do not do a lot of Liz Pendens investing. I'm in a deed of trust state, so my information on that side is limited. But Liz Pendens is a pending lawsuit against a property. So here is the information. I can look through it real quick. It looks like the deed was recorded, you know, possibly back in '79. So that property's been around for a bit. Just scrolling through real fast though, I can see who the plaintiffs are, who the defendants are, what the property is, everything else in between. And this right here might give me a lead on who I could market to. I'm gonna go through here and find out who the owners of this property are and market to those people specifically. So like right here, you may not find actual addresses. On this one I see here, it's lot 18, block 21, Idlewild Edition, a subdivision in University Park in Dallas County, Texas. It's wild that I actually know what that one is because I built a home right around the corner from that house. So that's kind of cool seeing that pop up in here. But see, you don't have a whole lot of information on here. So this is kind of just the opening gate for you to start the process. What might happen is I don't know what this property address is, so what am I going to do? Well, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to take this lot block info, plug that into my tax assessor or my central appraisal district, whatever you're going to call that, you should have some form of public record where I can type that information in. And once I have typed that information in, I can come in there and get the information that I need about that property. So this shows a pending certain suit against Roger Evans versus Jerry P. Smith. So boom. How much more information do you really need than that? That's really all you need. I need to know what the house is, who the owner's name is, and that there's a pending lawsuit. Start marketing. Don't overthink things. The people that I find that spend all their days just overthinking, I'm not saying just do blindly, but I am saying you can clean the wheel up. You can do a few different things to the wheel. You can add spinners to it. You can add white walls. You can do whatever you want to the wheel, but the wheel's still a damn wheel. Don't try and reinvent it. Figure it out, get the basic concept, throw your little twist on it and keep going. Don't go out there and try and just completely refigure everything out. I'm showing you the basics. The basics is what you need to know. There's not much more advanced to this than that. I'm just kind of, once again, man, just trying to expose you to what you haven't been exposed to before. So we've gone through Liz Pendens. I got that one funky appointment of substitute trustee up there. Let me see if I can find a little more recorded date. So these are recorded way back in the days. So I am looking at older filings. So that may have been a mistake on my side. You do need to filter out for recent filings. These are filings from back in like 78. Let me readjust the time on that to, okay, 1989. I don't know exactly what's going on here. It doesn't really matter, but you're getting the point. I'm gonna go ahead and open this one up. All right, view image preview. Wow, this one's interesting looking, 1974. But we're gonna go through here. What is the goal? What is the goal? What am I trying to achieve here? I'm not gonna go through every single one of these documents and try and figure it out. What is the goal? The goal in this particular scenario is for me to find out what homes have appointments of substitute trustee filed against them. I may not directly see an address, but I will probably almost always see a legal description. I'll need to look up that legal description, find out who the homeowner is, what the mailing address of that homeowner is, and start marketing to them. Some things that you might be able to do with this, though, is if you save a copy of the recording when you're doing the research, that copy of the recording is a powerful tool for you as a marketer. If you could include the filing with some of your marketing or have the ability in your communication with the homeowner to cite the specific filing, it helps you with your credibility, because a lot of the times with an AST, you're going to be contacting the homeowner long before they're notified that the public notice of trustee sale is moving forward. What I have found with ASTs, more so than just about anything else, quite often you will be the person breaking the news to them if you are moving forward fast with your marketing. It's not always the case, but it's often the case. So whenever I call somebody up and be like, hey, are you aware that this document was filed in public record and that there's a chance that you're going to be going to foreclosure in the near future? Are you aware of this? They're going to be like, I'm not going into foreclosure. And then I'll be like, well, are you behind on payments? And a lot of times whenever I say, are you behind on payments, they will open up and say, yeah, but my bank's not foreclosing on me. And at that point in time, I'm going to have to notify them. It's like, they're not foreclosing on you, but I do have this document that's filed in public record today that clearly states that they're taking action to move forward with that. Would you like to know some solutions for solving these problems? There's 12 different ways to stop that foreclosure, many of which could result in you keeping the house. If you have any interest at all in learning more about this, please give me the time to sit down and just kind of discuss these things with you, so that way we can see what options are available to you and what you might be able to do moving forward to stop this. So this is where I'm coming from. So we've looked at the Liz Pendens, we've looked at the appointments of substitute trustee. Let's go back out and try and find another list type. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna type in Dallas County foreclosure auction list. So I'm just gonna search. I already know where these are located, but I'm gonna show you kind of the process I'd go through. We've got the Dallas County clerk right here, foreclosure postings. I'm just gonna click on this. This is public record. But if I scroll through here and I'm looking for foreclosures, well, there you go. There they are. February, March, April. We're looking at March right now. I'm gonna click through here, see what it takes to open this up. All right, we've got 64 in Balch Springs, 164 on the next filing, 72 Carrollton, Cedar Hill. These are all different cities inside of Dallas County. I can click on any one of these though. If I click on it, how hard was this to do? Not very hard, but it is time consuming. Do expect this to consume time, and if you're just now starting out and you don't have a whole lot of time and you don't have a lot of money, this might not be the best solution for you, but you can dedicate probably 2 to 3 hours a day to just pulling these lists, and if you do it every single day, consistently, and consistent is the word, you do it every single day consistently and market to them the day that they are released, your ability to win in a tight market will drastically increase. You're going to need consistent action that is timely. Like if I wait for a filing and I wait 3 weeks after it's been published to market to them, that lead's gone. The hungry people out there that are doing it day one are the ones winning. So try to make sure that you're being very timely with your filings and how you're approaching them. But right here, so we've got an address up here in the top left, 14857 Bell Manor Court, Balch Springs, Texas. It's a notice of substitute trustee sale. Remember, notice of trustee sale, notice of substitute trustee sale. What happened with this one is they removed the trustee and substituted him with a new one. That is why I like going after those lists, because they are often filed before this document, which gives you a head start. But I now know what date the property is going to be sold. I know what time it's going to be sold. I know where it's going to be sold. And I also know down here the legal description of the property, the original principal amount right here, $167,000, who the borrowers were. You know, it's Mary Brown and Walton Brown. MidFirst Bank was the original lender. You know, I can scroll through here, get a little bit of information out of it. But overall, what am I wanting? All I want to know is who's being foreclosed on, when is it being foreclosed on, and what the address of the property is. As you're scrolling and throwing and looking through your local area, what you're going to find though is if I come down here to the bottom, my computer's moving slow. Let me do this. This is the foreclosing attorney, Barrett, Daffin, Frappier, Turner, and Engel. From my experience as a single-family real estate investor here in Texas, especially in Dallas County, Tarrant County areas, Barrett, Daffin, Frappier, Turner, and Engel is almost across the board 90% of the time the foreclosing attorney. The reason that is because that law office focuses on nothing other than foreclosures, which allows them to keep their costs down. So they charge like $1,500 to a bank for a foreclosure. Other attorneys might charge $3,500. So they have really created a niche market for their own little law firm doing nothing but foreclosures for banks. They are well known for it. They have a lot of stuff going on there. You see down here it says substitute trustee. Do you see all of these names? When you're looking at the AST lists, things might happen like, hey, you know, I'm pulling this and this appointment of substitute trustee shows 30 substitute trustees on it. Or this one property has had 6 appointment of substitute trustee filings against it, all at different dates and times. These large foreclosure houses have a lot of attorneys that work there. They don't want just one of those attorneys to be able to handle this file. They want all of their attorneys to be able to handle it. Or they assign one attorney to handle it and they find out later that that attorney's not going to handle it, they're going to use somebody else. Appointments of substitute trustees do not always guarantee that a foreclosure is happening. Do not think that just because an AST is filed that there's a pending foreclosure. It is just highly probable. So you need to make sure your marketing clearly states that. But when you start getting confused because you're seeing a lot of ASTs filed against one property or you're seeing a whole lot of names on that one, it's because of situations like this. Barrett, Dapper, Frappier, Turner, blah, 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 has hundreds of attorneys working for them. They need to make sure that those people have the ability to work that property. You can see here a good explanation of that. So I'm just going to show you one, maybe 2 more, and we're going to call this video a break. I hope you're getting value out of this so far. Let me scroll this down. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Let's find the next filing. Notice of acceleration and notice of trustee sale. That notice of acceleration is important. We've talked about that in some of our other classes. Just remember that we discussed that. We've got the grantors here. Tony Thompson joined pro forma by her spouse, Christopher Thompson, solely to perfect the lien. Wow, look at that fancy terminology. Original mortgagee, original principal amount, property. We don't have the address just thrown in front of us, but reported address right here shows to be 2528 Pioneer Bluffs. Legal description, borrowers, lender, original principal amount. When was the original deed of trust? 3/7/2011. So that was filed like 8 years ago. You know, right now today is March 2019. At March 2019, from 2011 till now, we've seen a pretty good appreciation cycle. 2011, it wasn't too far ago, 7 years. During a normal cycle, there may not be a whole lot of appreciation in that, but if we're talking about an appreciation cycle like we've gone through in the past 7 years, there might be a considerable amount of equity in that house. So there's a current mortgager, which is Wells Fargo. I can keep scrolling down. The property is going to be sold on Tuesday the 5th at 10 a.m. outside the building of the George Allen Courts. Substitute trustees, as you can see here, we've got probably about 10 or 12 of them. We've got the address of the trustee. Don't market to the trustee. The trustee has no rights to talk to you. They're not going to be able to sell you the property. The only person that can sell you the property is the homeowner. I see a lot of people that are confused thinking that the banks own these houses. Like, well, you can buy the bank. No, the bank does not own that property until it has been foreclosed on and the bank buys it at the auction. Until the date that that home is sold at auction, the homeowner owns that home, and the homeowner is the only person that can sell that property. So do not worry about the bank. Do not worry about the trustee. Communicate with the homeowners, and that's going to be who you need to reach out to. Scrolling down, just keep on going. All good, all good. But that's kind of the end of it. I mean, from there, I've showed you what Liz Pendens looks like. I've showed you what an appointment substitute trustee looks like. I've shown you a little bit about how the online platform works here in Dallas County. Like I said, across the United States, there's no way I can show you how to do this in all the counties. You're gonna get off your ass and go out there and figure it out yourself because you're a killer. You're gonna go out there, you're gonna win. You're not gonna let little things like this stop you. But go out there, start doing your own due diligence, figure that out. And if you absolutely cannot figure out how to do this online, do not be upset. You are in a better situation than most people, because if you can't do it online, very few people are actually going to do it. And if you're a go-getter, raise your hand up and say good, because you're going to be able to go to the courts. Try to do it daily, at the very least weekly. Go to the courts, because there's not going to be many people that are doing that. Start looking up these documents that we've discussed today. You've seen other opportunities for divorce, bankruptcy, abstracts of judgment. There's a lot of things you could get while you're there. Pull all those documents, record them, bring your phone, take pictures, get an assistant, hire somebody to do this stuff. But if you do that and take action, opportunities will present themselves. I know that everybody's out there. It's like, oh, it's a competitive market. It's this, it's that. F all of that. F it. You know, if you're a winner, have that abundance mindset. Understand that competition means nothing other than there's opportunity to make money. And if there's opportunity to make money and you're out there and you're taking diligent, educated action consistently every single day, you're going to get in a groove, you're going to learn your systems, and you're going to start executing. It might not happen day one, it might not happen month one, it might not happen year one, but I guarantee from my perception, with the right action, right plan, you will succeed. I love foreclosures. I guarantee you could drop me off in any market in the United States, and inside of a short period of time, I could start knocking foreclosures down. Why? My experience, my confidence, my understanding of how the process works, and my ability to close the deal. All of these things are things you're going to have to learn. Don't get discouraged because you're going out and you're seeing me talk about all this and you're not as sharp about this as I am. Remember, man, I've been doing this for almost a decade. You're talking about 10 years of experience that you're hearing talk. So don't compare yourself to me, because you're not me. You'll be me hopefully in the next 2 to 3 years. I took 10 years because I didn't have me to learn from. Take the action, go out there, apply it, and I look forward to seeing your continued success here in the Propelio Academy. Stay tuned for the next video. I love that y'all are doing this. If you're enjoying it, leave some comments in the videos below. Tell your friends about it. The reason we're doing this is, quite honestly, we're a software company, and we believe that there are more educated real estate investors that are out there taking action and doing this business the right way. The better we are as a software company to be able to provide value to you. Remember to check out the software. Remember to tell your friends. Go out there, make a living, do good, stay ethical. Have a good day.